We're having technical difficulties.
On YouTube? All right, let me check.
Let me check my phone.
See,
No, I don't think it's y'all. I think it's me. Oh,
Now
there we
it's up.
go.
There you
See,
go.
it happened. Note to self: make sure you hit start live when you go live. Anyway,
It's amateur hour. Let's go.
it's amateur hour. We're still learning. We're still learning. So, as you can see, we've got Mike from Ripping for Rookies here. We've actually got a new guest down here. We got Arnie from thecarddeal.com.
Likes and shame.
And who we have in the chat this evening? We got Canadian Card Breakers. We got White Sox Tom, Matty Ice Cards. How we doing, gentlemen?
Yeah, Jason.
We got
there's
Walken. It was just a matter of time before he showed up. Him and his Let's Go Royals.
A lot of
So
baseball.
how was everybody's week thus far?
Well, I got what Arnie got. He's sick.
Yeah.
I'm sick, and we haven't even been around each other.
I think we're closer than Fuego is, so he's in the clear. But
Yeah. He's got all those hurricanes blowing all the germs out.
I still got them playing in the background there, Lou.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry, Lou. Games are on.
Yep, games are on. But yeah, so a couple of things we're going to be talking about, but we're going to spend a lot of time on a particular topic that we came up with last week that we decided to drag Arnie in and get a third perspective. So the only thing that we're going to really talk about is upcoming releases again. And there's really no change with the exception of one. So Topps Cosmic still coming out on the 11th. Topps Update still scheduled for the 30th. But I do have the breakdown of what Topps Update is going to be showing, and I'm really not impressed with what they have. So let's go ahead and come here. All right. So basically, we are looking at, okay, so now they're saying scheduled release is the 16th.
Okay.
But we'll see. But for a hobby box, you're looking at 12 cards per pack, 7 packs per box. And then for a jumbo, 40 cards per pack with 10 packs per box.
Go live.
Okay, they got the golden mirror images, 350 base card checklist. These are your parallels, which I don't really see any change. It's been pretty consistent across the last couple of sets.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Nikki.
Then we have these new inserts. We have Let 'em Cook, another seasonal theme of Autumn Tales, 2024 All-Star Game. Then we got the black gold, and I do not like this. I don't like this variation.
You know what it looks like to me? That circle, the Topps Finest, or I'm sorry, was it Topps Finest? No, it's Topps Chrome 24, that multicolored insert that was a throwback to Finest. With that circle in those lines.
Right, how it takes up.
That's what I think that comes from, that template of those circles.
Now, I'm curious to see what is so new about that 89 design, with the exception of the year.
Don't know. It's got to be the same Topps design as before.
Probably. Then they got your standard heavy lumber. Then you got your autos, black, gold, red, and platinum. Then you got your star dual autos, triple autos, all-star game autos, 89 autos, autumn tales, the black gold autos, and then your cuts. Oh, they threw in cut signatures this time.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
Okay, so these are going to be the relics, major league material, which I'm assuming that's what this is. And different parallels, and it's hobby and jumbo exclusive. All-star stitches, silver, red, and gold. Rising rookie. Okay, so that's something. Oh, look, no stars of the MLB.
No, come on.
No, they'll probably put it in resale.
Well, hold your breath.
Then they got the all-star jumbo patch, the stitches dual cards, triple cards, own the name relics. And then what else we got here? Okay, the Heart of the Reach. You got your Topps Reverence, Major League Materials, All-Star Stitch Auto, Stitch Dual Auto, All-Star Auto Jumbo Patch. So, and then they got the odds here.
Oh, yeah, but that's going to be like 12 pages long.
Yeah. No, actually, this one's only 7.
Oh, wow. They cut it down.
They did. So I'm assuming.
Chuck, Sean, Collector's Dream. I think that's Orlando, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Okay. So the odds seems meh is what I'm going to give it. So any thoughts on update?
Well, I've kind of been tracking it for the past 3 weeks, looking at the pre-sales on Blowout and Dave and Adams, and they pop up, then they go away. I know that hobby boxes started at $89, and they went up to $99, $119, $129 was the last I saw, but the jumbos are the ones that are really going through the roof. I saw them listed. The first pre-sale was at $189, which I thought was kind of a little bit high for a jumbo. They're all the way up to $279 now for a jumbo. So, yeah.
Now you could still get them on the regular release day once they do go live on Topps site.
On Topps. Good luck.
But that goes back to the original price.
Okay, yeah.
Not the $279 inflated price from the big guys, Blowout, etc.
So what is your thought on that, Arnie, about the big guys, and so-called, that are selling the cards? They get an allotted shipment, correct?
Yeah, I think their allocation. I think they're just releasing small batches to pump up the price
to see what it is. So if they have 100, just say they have 100 cases, so they'll sell 25 cases at one price, see what the demand is, and then bump it up until as far as they can go.
They'll just keep tapping the gas until they bump into somebody and say, okay, let's back it down. Blowout's 145 locking and $299. That's insane. That's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah. Now, if they change, mind you, if they changed the format and they got rid of that manufactured relic and increase the odds of something else, then you can understand, okay, they did a couple changes. I see the small increase. I'm okay with it. I don't like it, but I get it. You can't say that here. You can't say that with any of these products. And until they change that, just proceed with caution.
Exactly.
That's pretty much it. Stay within budget and proceed with caution.
So speaking of staying in budget, so we know Mike likes to pick up a box of jumbo of update to complete a set. Are we still going to carry on that tradition?
Not happening this year. I'll buy it online.
I'll get him a set. I'll get Mike a set. You'll get a set somehow.
I'll send you $50 for the set. There we go.
Oh God, no, that's too much. Just get yourself get yourself a Skeens and I'll send you the rest.
You're saving me $250.
That's true. Yeah. And you may the way they're getting a little bit smarter with this allocation, it's so tough because I've opened a lot and then all of a sudden I'm still missing 20 and 30 cards. When I open 2 blasters or a mega, a hobby, and a jumbo, I should be close to 2 1/4 sets. When I have a hard time finishing one, or I have 2 sets that need 20 or 30 cards each, they're really paying attention to that. And they're doing all they can to get you to buy more product.
Well, last year I feel like I got
2024 is the first year that started. So Series 1 is when I noticed it because.
So last year when I opened up my jumbo box, I got extremely lucky. I only needed 1 card to complete it. So that's not going to happen anymore.
The quantity of the set, 10 packs or 12, whatever, 40 a pack, minus the inserts. So.
Yeah, there were 46 cards per pack last year, and this year there's only 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the latest one that's actually come out, and I know it was Larkin who gave us the info on Discord about the pre-release, and we're talking about 2024 Allen and Ginter.
Yeah.
So here's the breakdown. So each card There's 8 cards per pack in a hobby, 24 packs per hobby.
Mm-hmm.
The set is 350 cards with a tentative date of 30 October. What to expect? Autographs, mem cards, rip cards, original Allen and Ginter cards, 3 total.
Okay, so it hasn't changed. That's a good
thing. I think these releases are very they have a set audience, and I like that they're not changing this stuff, because this stuff that people like don't necessarily like all these other releases. So they do look forward to this. As much as I don't like the egg and the skillet and the cream corn, all those different cards that are baseball cards, I get it, and I learned to appreciate the products, because there's a lot of types of collectors that just don't want to deal with chrome or can't afford this or that, whatever it may be. This is something else for them. I just hope they keep these prices, this and Stadium Club, for the rest of the year. They keep them very, very close to what they were last year.
So what do you think the price point of this is going to be? It's going to be just like last year, like
130,
around 129?
139, 129. I mean, nothing's going to be the same, but it's going to be close to, I say 139 is my guess.
I feel if they try to push this at 159, 169, it's going to sit.
Oh, definitely. I mean, with
Unless
the parallels, they're actually giving you the odds too. So for a mini, it's 1 in every 3 hobbies, 1 in every 32 value packs, 1 in 3 fat packs. The short prints is 1 in 14 hobby, 1 in 13 value. Glossy minis is the one that's going to be almost difficult. 1 in over 10,000. So pretty hefty checklist.
Wait, can you go back up to that? I'm sorry if I go to the minis. Wasn't it 1 mini in each pack before? Oh, it's a parallels. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. Parallels.
Gotcha. All right, I didn't see that.
Then they got the no number mini, the gold border mini, the black border mini, Brooklyn back mini, wood mini. So okay, so the minis have a variety now. And then this is the checklist. They got obviously your active players, your Hall of Famers, some celebrities, more than likely.
Checklist is usually around 300, isn't it?
Yeah, this one is going to be 350.
350?
Yeah.
Maybe it was 350 over last year.
Yeah, I think over 200 is 200 is short print, maybe.
And this one's going to be
I like the design.
I like the design. Go back up. Is it the base card?
Go back up to the Harper card. Harper.
Yeah, if that's the base card, I like that a lot. That's classic. Cool. It gives me a vibe of Topps the gallery that they discontinued. Okay. I like that a lot. It looks like gallery mixed with Ginter.
There's not too much stuff going on it.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
Yeah, it looks real simple. The short prints, well, hold on. Then you got the minis. No, these are the standard size. Action variations and cycle succession. And you got Nathan's hot dogs.
There we go.
Ballpark bites.
Ain't nothing wrong with a Nathan hot dog.
So short prints are number 301 to 350.
Okay.
So really no change with this.
I kept it the same. That's good.
Good.
So that could be a Halloween break.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's nice about that? You can get some really, really nice stuff out of there. And as long as you're getting multiple hits in those hobby boxes like these, I think that's a good product. Like you said, Mike, I would love for you to do a break like that. I would get into that because you know you're going to get at least 3 hits per box. Sometimes you get more, but then you got chances for rip cards and all those other stuff. That's.
Okay, so I'm taking a look at these names, and some of them I've never heard of. Like, I know who Daddy Yankee is, obviously. Who the hell is Joe List?
I have no idea.
Or Dude Dad.
I know who Dude Dad is. That he's just an internet, a guy with a Twitter account and a YouTube account that makes videos all day long.
So he's a content creator.
Yeah, content creator with his wife and kids. He's a family guy.
Okay, so Wilfredo, Dustin Kenshrew, Diana Rossini,
No idea who that is.
Travis Scott. What's a new set without him in it?
Yeah. Oh, these autographs?
No, this is just a base set.
Oh, the base set. Okay. Who is the top sports get in here for other sports? Is there obviously we had Wemby last year? Is there a different player that's from basketball or football that would be in this release?
That's a good question.
Because that was a big draw for last year's hobby was the Wemby chase in there. Okay, Rossini was ESPN reported for NFL.
You got the 50 states, World Series champion, Allen and Ginter box loader, ballpark bites, ballpark bite mini, Batoids. What the hell? Okay, buzzing.
Oh, that's the is that? Wait.
Oh, it's all the different types of rays.
Yeah, the different rays. I thought that was
like that. Yeah.
And you got your Chrome checklist, Chrome Mini. I like how they have J-Rod as a card number 1.
So are they putting Chrome inside these like a short print like they did for Stadium Club and not doing Chrome, or is this the checklist that just mimics Chrome?
This is just a checklist that includes the Chrome.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a Chrome product. I don't think they did a Chrome product of this last year.
I don't think they did so either, or a Chrome black.
Was last year for that.
22 is yeah.
Then you got your cycle succession, all your old players. Flags of the world.
Friends
got
with
the
flags.
itch. In action variation. Metal mini. So probably N43 box loaders. Okay. Rookie design. Rays in the Wild. Sister. Yeah. Okay. Stained glass.
We'll figure that out later.
Swamp creatures. Must be a Florida thing. Uniform countdown. World's tallest mountains. X-rayed. Okay.
All right, so they don't have a list of all the just an individual list of the non-sports.
So is this something that you're going to be looking at getting into there, Arnie?
Because I'm a degenerate, yes. But I won't go heavy because Bowman draft is coming up, and I think we all know how that goes.
Yeah, okay. I'll do a break with that.
Yeah, but I will definitely get into some breaks. I hope other people do it. I just like it because if you do let's say you do 6 box break, there's 18 guaranteed hits plus some extras usually. So that's a nice break where you got some shots at spreading it around. That's why I like it. It's not a high-end product where it's going to break the bank, but it has upside. So for breaks, I like that kind of stuff because there's value there. And then it gives me an opportunity to get my my team players without buying my own boxes. So I'll probably go more of the tournament breaks with this one instead of I mean I'll do a box maybe by myself, maybe one, but I'm not gonna rip multiples of it.
Okay.
But I like that they're keeping it the same.
Yeah, at least one of the products.
Yeah, just leave this stuff alone and tweak the inserts and tweak the color and things like that. But the overall product, if they just leave it be, I think everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Hey, Titus.
Well, we'll just have to play it by ear and wait till people start cracking into them. We'll start catching the videos and go from there, really. Who knows? Maybe Mike will have a change of heart and pick up a jumbo for himself.
No, I'm not picking up a jumbo update. No.
We'll see Mike in the parking lot with the windows up, parked way in the back, ripping up wrappers all over the car.
Yeah.
Not happening.
So, but yeah, so that's basically everything for the upcoming releases right now. If you do plan on getting into any of this stuff, just do so in good conscience. If you don't have it, don't try to break the bank for it. find means of obtaining the latest and greatest, but do it wisely. All right. So last week we did the segment where we had individuals that were basically underperforming with these huge contracts. Today, we're going the opposite route. We're going to go with these individuals who are overperforming, whether a little or a lot, but they're getting, the team ownership is getting their money's worth. So how we did it is we each went ahead and picked a total of 4 players, one of them including a pitcher. All right, so that's how we're gonna go. So with Arnie being his first time on the podcast, we'll have him break the ice.
Oh boy.
Baptism by fire.
Yeah, baptism by fire. Okay, probably now, should we factor in anything with hobby value? Or are we just strictly talking the game of baseball?
Talking the game of baseball.
You can do it baseball. You could do it with collectability. I mean, because we all got somebody that somebody collects in our list.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, first up for me is Brent Rooker. So, me personally, he was my number 2. So we'll start off with him. I'll save my top one. 39 homers, just under 300 average, 112 RBIs, and a 927 OPS. Anybody in the chat, you just want to just take a quick guess at what type of salary he's making this year?
On the A's, not much.
Well, just by the name, what do you guys think he's making this year? Yeah, take a guess. No Google, please. Just
I've got his stats up as a reference too for
you.
you.
Yeah, there you go. That's a monster year for anyone.
Right. So
that's
like name aside and age aside, what factored
if it was
into
any
this
other
one,
name than Brent Rooker, he'd be an MVP candidate.
Yeah. Good guesses, Tom. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's pretty wild. So the reason I picked him is obviously because he's on Oakland. He doesn't have much hobby love. And I think someone owes him some money. Most guys are stealing. This guy, that's an MVP season 5 years ago. When you start to look at these numbers, you hear of a guy hitting over 30 home runs. That Judge has taken over so much attention. So is Ohtani. A lot of guys we're going to mention here today is going to show that. You go back 4 or 5 years, you hit over 30 home runs. You got the spotlight on you. You're getting talked about. Your card values are going up. But I don't think this guy has any collectability at all. No offense to anyone that collects him, but for me, I think he was my number 2, but he's now my number 1 in terms of what he's making versus what he produced. You want to go one at a time in Fuego? Go around the room. We'll just hit the offense first.
Yeah.
Do one at a time. So yeah, that's my top one. And I'll talk about my second one when it comes around again. But Brent Rooker moved into the 1 spot for me for those reasons.
All right, Mike. What about you?
What about me? Okay, I have my 3. I'm going to go in no particular order. My first one, and I can probably share the screen on this one. I'm going to go with pretty much Mr. Consistency, and he's on the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I'm going to go with Brian Reynolds. Every year, consistent. Always gets you 20 to 30 home runs, decent batting average, RBIs, runs. He's making $13.4 million a year. And you don't hear anything about injuries or anything like that with him. I'm actually surprised he's been on the Pirates for so long. Go back to his stats. Every year, just total consistent. 1 year, every year. Yeah, 134 was the least amount of games that he played, and that was his first year. So yeah, at that rate, at that price, I consider him a steal. Would you rather have 2 Brian Reynolds on your team or 1 Bryce Harper? I would take 2 Brian Reynolds any day. And
yeah, agree.
When we're done, I have also a stat where I'm comparing my 3 players with Harper and Machado going back to from 2020 to now, the past 4 years of what they've done. Because I feel that when Harper and Machado were both signed in that same year and they signed almost identical deals, it's like, okay, that kind of set the bar for players at that point. So okay. I'm comparing these other players to that 4-year segment. So he's actually Brian Reynolds is the highest priced player that I have on my list.
Okay.
Okay, so I can take that out.
All right. So we got Brent Rooker and we got Brian Reynolds. My number 1 had to go with Air Jordan. Okay, so with him, his contract, he's only bringing home $10 million a year. And right now he's currently on a 6-year contract worth $115. And he is definitely underpaid because if you look at his stats after 2020, he's been a 30-plus home run hitter every season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Batting average, it's kind of little roller coaster effect, 277, 306, 293, 308. Was an all-star the last 3 seasons. Came in 3rd for MVP in 22, 13 and 23. Won a Silver Slugger. So, I mean, it's just a matter of time before they throw an extension at him.
And in Fuego, I think you just gave Sean a minor heart attack.
For showing some Astros love.
I mean, he deserves it.
Yeah. And for clarification, guys, this list doesn't have there was no minimum. These players didn't have to have any type of league minimums payroll. They could be making $15 million a year, 20. It doesn't matter. It's just someone that outperformed based on their salary. And one criteria was active, not injured,
not currently on their rookie contract, like J-Rod, for example.
Offered an extension at some point.
Extension, second deal, third deal, fourth deal, anything other than a rookie deal, and has to be active.
Yep. So, yeah,
I like it.
That's what I'm looking at.
Nicky, he was on my list. I didn't go with him.
All right. So next up for me on offense again is Jurickson Profar.
Oh, that's my guy. Why'd you take my guy?
Well, you had 4 guys, and I only had 3.
Well, now I got to put another guy in there, but he was my ace in the hole. Okay, go ahead. You got.
I thought you already said. My bad. Okay, so Jurickson Profar, 280 average, 24 homers, 85 RBIs. Went with him again, strictly based on the dollar amount. 1.5 is a signing bonus and incentives, which I think he's reached. I don't know the details on it, but $1 million is his contract. So 2.5 he'll make this year, and he's helping out on a playoff team. So I tried to go a little bit different on this pick in terms of the teams.
Okay. All right.
Sorry about that, Mike. Now you got to go dig for another player.
I got to dig for another player, but I'm going to go with it. I'll put that on the back burner now. I'm going to go with my other player that I had, and I'm going to go with let's present right here. Believe it or not, I'm going with Ozzie Albies. Okay, he's hurt this year, right? Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Does anybody know what his contract is and how long he's locked up?
Well, I do know that at the Braves, when they do extensions, they don't do them for very long.
Well, he came back to this series. He actually had a key role to take the lead in that short series.
You might be surprised. The Braves have kind of changed the way they've been doing it lately. They've been locking players up for a little bit longer.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me pull that up right now. Okay, Ozzy Albies is currently on a $7 million a year contract, and he's locked up to 2028. So
Okay.
that's 4 years from now. And how long has he been on this contract? He's been on this contract. It's just topped out now at 7 million. He's been on this contract for 3 years. So yeah, he's basically signed a contract for 8 years. And yeah, I'd like to have Ozzy Albies on my team at that price at 7 million a year. So that is my, in no particular order, my second pick.
Awesome.
I like it.
My other
He had
pick
his,
is
he had his best
solid.
season last year behind Acuna, which was overshadowed and probably
Yeah.
didn't get much attention, but that was definitely I don't know if it was MVP worthy. I don't know if he got any votes, but he had his best year of his career last year.
And
Correct.
What? Ozzy Albies is a 3-time All-Star. He's got a World Series under his belt, and he's a 2-time Silver Slugger. So yeah,
He's good. He's good on defense as well. I mean, it's a solid pick.
He is not too shabby. Now I got to.
He's somebody that has some hobby love, though, Mike. You know, which is different than a couple of the guys that I picked that are more older. Reynolds has good hobby value, meaning he's collected, and Ozzy Albies is definitely probably on the top of your list right now for hobby collectability. The two that I picked so far, not so much. So your 2 picks, and then Jordan, and let's see what Infuego has for his second pick.
all right. So my second pick. Don't roast me. It's gonna be Cody B.
Maddie's going to be excited.
Here's why I say that. Okay. So basically, he spent 6 years with the Dodgers. This is what he's accumulated. Okay. And I'm trying to take away the longevity, but look what he's done for 2 years with the Cubs, from a 248 to a 286. Okay. And basically, he's got a Silver Slugger, and he was top 10 for MVP versus during his time with the Dodgers, 2-time All-Star, won the MVP in 19 Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, and Rookie of the Year. You know, so I mean, and then his overall resume, and then also he's getting paid $33 million a year. In my opinion, that's not that bad for somebody who's now starting. I guess you could say this is kind of like his redemption contract, because he signed for 3 years at $80 million. So I mean, if he continues to show improvement, they might throw another 3 to 4 years at him until he gets to that age where, I mean, because he's only he's 29. He'll probably get one more short term before they finish him up with a relatively decent long-term contract. So that's just my opinion.
If he stays with the Cubs.
If he stays with the Cubs, yes.
Yeah.
I heard he likes it there, so I don't know how that plays into it. Wanting
and the crowd,
to stay,
and if I'm not mistaken, I think the crowd takes a kind to him. So, all right, Arnie, who's your number 3?
All right, here we go. Let me steal another pick. No, this.
I think you're good now, Arnie.
Yeah, okay. I have to go with my homer pick here. Josh Naylor, I believe just over 100 RBIs, 30 home runs, 6.5 million. And I hope he stays with Cleveland, but we all know how Cleveland doesn't pay a lot of people. And is he wanting too much money? You know, I don't begrudge any player going to get money and leaving and making the most they can. I'm fine with that. But I mean, the guy plays all out when he's here. That's all you can ask for when he's on your team. So anybody that hits, the reason I picked him, it's yes, because he's on the Indians and it's a homer pick, but more importantly, I think the way the league gets a lot of attention towards Judge and Ohtani this year, and even with Acuna last year. It's extremely hard to hit 30 home runs and get 100 RBIs. You do that for 10 years, you're a Hall of Famer. You can get there. Not a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame consistently hit 30 home runs. So I know it's just the first time he's done that. And there's other guys that have done it more than that. But to just be making $6.5 million, I think a lot of teams, like you said, maybe they're more hesitant at giving out this big deal of 15, 12, 14 million. When you start to see other players like, Jose Ramirez take a hometown discount and want to finish his career here and take less money. Now that's an anomaly. That's very rare. There's no other player doing that. No one else has done that.
Jeter did it.
I'm saying active now. It's probably not a smart move anyway on his behalf because of the amount of money they're throwing at these players that barely bet 250 and, can't even touch 30 home runs and make over 20 million. There's a lot of those bad contracts. That's why this was actually tough that Infuego put together to find these players because there's so many bad contracts. But these guys that are playing above their pay grade, do need some attention. I just don't know how much he's going to get offered by Cleveland. But it'd be nice to have him as a long-term DH for the future.
Yeah. Not a bad pick. What you got, Mike?
Okay, well, since I had to switch gears, actually, I have to say that Josh Naylor was on my original list. A couple of players that didn't make the list, which I think could have made the list, were Nathaniel Lowe from the Rangers, Ketel Marte. Even though he's been hurt, he had a great year this year. When he's not hurt, he can play. And also Willy Adames were on my list. I also have one player now that was my backup player that's going to make Nikki very happy, and I'm going with him, and I'm going to be okay. Yeah, I'm going to be a homer, and I'm going to go with him. And I just have to find where he is. There he is. I'm going to go with Alec Bohm. And the reason being is his career WAR is a 3.8. He amassed 3 of those 3 points just this year alone. I think he's finally developed into the player that the Phillies organization thought that he would be. He did get hurt down towards the end of the season, and it has shown in the past 3 weeks or 2 weeks that he's been back. And also today's game was not very good. But he did post 15 home runs, 280 batting average, 62 runs, 97 RBIs, and I think he was third in the league in doubles. So he's a double guy. He's not going to get you power. He might crack 20 home runs every now and then, but as long as he's consistent with his batting average with over the past few years, he has been. I'm very happy with that. 2021 was a down year for him. 2020, yeah, we can look at that. I mean, 338, he was runner-up for the Rookie of the Year. But then 2022 is at 280, 2023, 240, 274, 2024, 280 batting average. So, yeah, and he made his first All-Star game this year, too. So if he puts up consistent numbers like that for the rest of his career, I'm fine with that. Now, this year was his first year of arbitration. He kind of took a little bit of a hometown deal. He's making $4 million a year. He's going to be up for another arbitration next year. Let's see what happens with them. But for $4 million a year, I would say, yeah, that's a pretty good deal for anybody to have on any team. So that's my last batter.
All right. Some pretty nice picks. All right, so my third and final bat, despite his agent not having his best interest in mind when he was trying to negotiate a contract, okay, which forced him to go to the West Coast, he's doing big things. And I'm going with Freddie Freeman. Okay. Freddie is making $20 million a year. And for $20 million this season, he's at a 4.7 WAR, 22 home runs, 282 batting average, 89 RBIs. He's not known to steal bases, but he's got 9 of them. 854 OPS with a 143 OPS plus. So if you really look at it, he went from a 295 in 12 years with Atlanta to a 314 in just 3 years with the Dodgers. And then on top of that, he's made since his signing, he's been an all-star, and he's been top 5 in MVP voting. So, I mean, what else is there really that needs to be said about his performance? If you look at it overall, if I can get up there, he's an MVP, 8-time All-Star, Gold Glove, World Series in 21, 3-time Silver Slugger.
Future Hall of Famer.
Oh, definitely a Hall of Famer.
Future Hall of Fame. Well, I mean, you can just book it now, but yeah, he's in.
There goes my brother again with a $20 super chat. I appreciate it. What are my thoughts on that new pitcher, Bustin' Cider?
He's good in the fall.
It's a kid show.
I'm still waiting for him to make that breakthrough.
Oh boy, that's
all right. We have a request. I just received a request from someone. I should have texted back and say join the live stream. Okay, let's see if we can figure out who requested this. Jose Iglesias should get a mention here. $1 million for solid production when he plays. Who is the mystery comment? Thank you.
Are they in the chat? My first question: are they in the chat?
I haven't seen them tonight. That's why I was kind of.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna make a guess. I like to solve the puzzle. I'm gonna go with Mr. Dom.
Yeah, Mr. Dom.
No one else would have said it like that. That's the only reason I guessed him. It's just the way he phrased that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only Dom.
Yeah, Nikki got it too. Yeah, very good.
Yep. There's going to be, and Sean, there's going to be a lot of players, but I think the three of us kind of had 3 different thought patterns when we were going through this, which is good. You know,
we got one more round still for offense,
we still have our pitchers. But,
pitcher rounds.
Yeah, we all had the same kind of base, but we kind of took it in different directions. Try to encompass everything,
which is good. I think Infuego took the
out there.
Infuego took that high road where they're still making good money and they're still worth more. And then I think you had a couple that were like that $4 to $6 million range, including the one I stole from you, which is the Josh Naylor. But which is a good point. Yeah, in the profile, because I was going to use Contreras making just under 800,000. Catcher, tough position, leading a team to the playoffs and so forth. Obviously, he'll make a lot more money next year. What's going to be interesting is to see some of these guys, like Rooker, we know is going to fall off. He's older. He's having a breakout year. He'll make a little more money next year. That's great, but he's not going to get a big deal for $100 million for playing well this year.
He's not going to get it from the A's.
Yeah, but
good point.
The question that I'm pretty sure that hasn't been asked, but I know it's been lingering in my head is, how does this relate to the hobby? I mean, a lot of the names that were mentioned thus far do have an established collectability, and some are still working on it. For example, you got Freddie, who's pretty much a lock for Hall of Fame. Jordan, he's still making a name for himself.
But he's highly collectible. You're happy to pull a number or an auto. Yeah.
You've got a lot of, I know a couple of young players were mentioned, and they're building their resumes towards collectability. And I'm sure a lot of hometown fans of these players are actually collecting these folks. Like, I'm sure Adrian's got a nice little hefty collection of Brent Rooker. Nikki's probably got some Alec Boehm. I know Mike's got some. So, I mean,
Sean has a few Alvarez. Yeah. One thing I'll say about Alvarez is, and I know it doesn't really, he's not tied to that steroid era. Not steroid era. I'm sorry.
Out of the 3 of us, one of us remained consistent and and refrained from being biased and picking somebody from their team.
I only did. I only did because my players were stolen.
All right, so
I had to steal an Indian. I had to steal one Indian.
So now we're gonna go into the pitchers, and for 2 of the 3 of us, it was harder than expected, but for one of us, they made it seem like riding a bike. Okay, so Arnie, who's your pitcher?
I'm just gonna say Mike. I mean, he's a genius. I don't know. I had a hard time. I still have a hard time with this. Mike said he had like five names in the holster right off the get go. So I'm gonna go with the guy that had a breakout year, and I actually went back and looked at a lot of his Bowman cards because of the type of season he had, and it's one of those things where it's like, it's a pitcher. If his name becomes popular at some point, he is on a good team, meaning a good market for collectability. But Tanner Houck, 770,000, and probably one of their best pitchers this year, but definitely his best year of his career. Mm-hmm. And we'll see if that nets him a nice deal or an extension, because I know a lot of the talks are starting to happen now with some of these guys that had these good years that are only on these league minimums. Because if they don't get on it fast, meaning the organization, the agents are going to come with the pitchforks, and big bags of money are going to need to be filled up. So that's kind of how I see a lot of these teams, like you said, Mike, giving these somewhat fair deals to keep these players locked in. Because I know early in the season we heard about Brian Reynolds, and then all of a sudden, once he got paid, it took a while to get that deal done. Then you didn't hear anything about him. No. He just quietly had another good year and went about his business.
Every year.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Tanner Houck for the league minimum with the Boston Red Sox.
Okay. Nice pick. I'm assuming it's on me now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I was the one riding the bike, so yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, you had 5 to pick. We're just going to do one apiece and then turn the stage over to you, because it took me a while.
I had me personally, I had a tough one between the two particular pitchers. Okay. But at the end of the day, I had to go with this young man here. And that would be Yu Darvish. Okay. Now his contract, he's making $15 million a year. Okay, and he's on a 6-year, $108 million contract. So if you really look at his stats for this season, a 2 WAR, went 7-3. ERA, not so great. Okay. 81 innings pitched, 78 strikeouts with a 1.065 WHIP. But remember, this is the kid that on multiple occasions almost threw a perfect game. Okay, he will have his crappy moments, but when he's on it, he's on it. Okay, there's really no stopping him. Now, the person that I had to put him up against initially was Luis Castillo. And when I did that, I basically just went back the last 4 years. Okay, and they're almost similar. You've got a higher win-to-loss record.
Not by much.
A higher strikeout rate. He's walked less, and I mean, 1 all-star appearance versus 2. And they're both making the same amount of money, with the exception is Luis has one less year at the same amount. So that's why I went with Yu Darvish.
Okay, so I was looking at my brother Nicky in the chat, and Clase was on my list, and I was almost going to go with him. Also on my list was Ronaldo Lopez, Ryan Housley, and Michael King, all of them making under $4 million this year. But I went with and let me share the screen. And any other year, any other league, he would have won the Cy Young Award. I mean, monster numbers this year. Tariq Skubal from the Detroit Tigers. 6.3 WAR, wins 18, losses 4, ERA 2.39. Innings pitched 192, strikeouts 228, and a WHIP, an amazing WHIP of 0.922. And this was pretty much his first year that he pitched almost an entire year. He was out last year. 2021. That's where he started to show signs, but he was on a bad Detroit team. 2022, he pitched pretty much 500. But the one thing about him is his strikeouts and his innings pitched, they were either the same or higher. That's why I thought that, this kid's on the right track. And this year was a breakout year for him. And in my opinion, I believe that he should win the Cy Young Award in the American League, but he probably will not. Just my thoughts there. So his salary, $2.65 million after re-signing.
Wow.
Dirt cheap.
Do you think Clase will get it? Or do you think it's because it's one of the two? I don't think it would go to anyone else. I think it would go to Schoolball, to be honest with you. But I haven't checked the. I usually go to Vegas for the odds because they're usually pretty close with the top two.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be between.
Okay, Nikki just said it in
two.
the chat. Yeah, Nikki just posted. It's going to go to either Schoolball or Clase, according to current odds.
I hope it goes to Schoolball. I just think his numbers are amazing this year. Just some of the best numbers that
I think it should go to Schoolball as well.
Yeah, I believe so.
Well,
I'm hoping anyway.
Let's get the opinion of the chat.
It looks like Magnus says Schoolball. Lawkin says Schoolball. Lawkin also says that Lugo will be ahead of Clase.
Lugo, okay.
Interesting.
But yeah, Schoolball's the most deserving. And not to say that he can't that Clase has not been nothing but dominant. I mean,
no, Clase has been dominant. I mean, you look at that ERA of the 0.661. That's sick.
Oh, Magnus, I didn't know he was able to get the Triple Crown. I thought he fell short on one of the categories. If that's the case, then yeah, obviously that's a given. But I didn't know he was getting.
When's the last time a closer won the Cy Young? I know Bedrosian did in the '80s with the Phillies, and he beat out Nolan Ryan
for the play with the Dodgers, right? The guy with the glasses, the black frame glasses. No, Eric Gagne.
Oh, Gagne.
Did he had a good
I'm cheating right now.
See if we can cheat. We don't know everything.
Eric Gagne was the last one in 03.
Yeah, with the Dodgers. That's it.
There we go.
But yeah, I mean.
Oh, he does have all three. Okay. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so it looks like Magnus says he does have all three.
For the starter? Good. The kid deserves
for Triple Crown. Yeah, for Triple Crown. So yeah, it's Schoolball by a landslide then. But hey, there's stranger things.
Yeah, we're not voting. So
Manny Machado just hit a 2-run blast, extended the Padres' lead. Man, them Padres.
Good team.
Yeah.
They're a very good team.
That is who we believe happens to be overperforming or performing above what they're being paid for, in our opinion. Of course, everybody's going to have their own opinions, but just throwing that out there. What's up, Dom?
Tell us how you really feel about Eric Gagne.
Oh, Dom will tell you anything. That's fine.
I love it.
There goes my other sibling. Have you checked the fridge? Go check. It's running.
Ooh, nice.
Well, okay.
I love the family support in here for Infuego. It's good.
Yeah, I appreciate it. My siblings love me.
It's good stuff.
Too bad it's only a one-way street. No, I'm just kidding.
I remember that joke back in the 70s.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, again, even with the pitchers, even though in the hobby, pitchers get no love. I mean, absolutely no love.
They don't. I mean, if you go back, it's who's the last pitcher that got love? Nolan Ryan.
Probably Nolan Ryan.
And then you have to go.
Went back that far. Cy Young. If you're a vintage collector, Bob Gibson,
Sandy Koufax. You
may have a few out there when it comes to like Clayton Kershaw, maybe.
Yeah.
I just think that I'll make a point while we're on this topic. I've said it many times. I'm sure you guys have heard it, but Baseball Hall of Fame is going to have to change the way they vote for baseball for pitchers going forward if they want to see another pitcher in the Hall of Fame. The way the game is being played and managed right now, once the Kershaws are done, the Verlanders, et cetera, those guys, we all know that name that's kind of in the mix right now. We're not going to see any more pitchers that are going to be in the Hall of Fame. The stats won't even come close. They're definitely going to have to change. And that's fine if they do. I don't know how that Hall of Fame committee goes by, when it comes to stats and what they need. I know, 3,000 hits, you're for sure in, 500 home runs, you're in, but we've seen all that and some guys not get in for 15, 20 years. So,
and you see with pitchers, it's like the criteria is 300 wins. I don't see any pitcher getting 300 wins anymore.
Well, not only the wins, it's just the amount of, think about it. They're just not pitching
the amount of innings.
The amount of innings.
No. I mean, how many complete games have been, just take a look at this year. Just, I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but how many complete games were thrown this year compared to how many Nolan Ryan would throw in 1 year? It's completely different.
And it's not just him. You take an average player that was very Hall of Very Good from the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s. There's dozens of them that had double-digit complete games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just not seeing it. The game is just managed differently. There's setup men versus relievers in a loss, or closers. Now you have 3 plus your starter. So you're running 3 to 4 guys out there every game.
That's not saying that if a starter is having a stellar performance on the mound, they won't let him complete the game.
Yeah, that's another thing where there's got to be a new stat that's going to get created for that. You got an 8-2 lead in the 7th, and you got a 10-game lead on the division in September. Take your guy out. I understand that. That's why a lot of times let's see his record. Well, he's 10-8, or he's 12-10. That's not that good. Well, yeah, it actually is, because he just didn't get run support, and 80% of his losses were by 1 run. So you have to really look in depth to it. Now, outside of my own team, I don't follow anyone else. So it's easy for me to say 12-10, he sucks. He's got a sub-4 ERA. That's okay. But then you watch the guy every time he pitches and it's your team. You say, wait a minute, those were all 1 and 2 run games, and he pitched well, and he had 8+ strikeouts a game. So yeah, you can really look in depth. I just think that it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to take 10, 12, 15 years or so before the Hall of Fame has to vote on some of these guys. But
so here's a question for both of you then. What would it take for the hobby to start showing some more love towards collecting pitchers of now?
Honestly, I just think it's just people stop saying that pitchers aren't collectible. I think it's that simple. Just like a lot of stuff we hear. It's just noise. It carries and it takes over, and they're more valuable than any position on the field.
Because I remember a time when Steven Strasburg made his debut, everybody was going out getting his cards. When the Yankees signed Masahiro Tanaka, they were getting his cards.
Look at Skeens right now. That's 30 years apart.
Yeah,
20 years apart with those 2 you just named. Yep. And now here we are with Skeens.
Because there has not been a break that I have witnessed or been a part of where somebody was excited to pull a pitcher other than Skeens.
Yeah.
Correct.
Skeens is definitely all the rage right now. And the breaks they're not cheap. That they're the second and third most expensive team, which the Pirates are never in that position.
Yep.
So, and again, you're banking that price point on a pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, you have Henry Davis, who's an extremely low buy. He's still a number 1 pick. He's still young, and he could be something. He could still be great, but right now he's a very low buy. Then you have Nick Gonzalez, and outside of that, I don't think there's anybody that's relatively new on the Pirates to be excited about to pay that kind of price. If I'm dropping $200 on a case break, I'd rather spend $230 or $240 and get the next team up above that.
Yeah. Unless you happen to be one of them diehard fans that, you're a Uncle Larry super collector. regardless if he took his time away, gone to other teams, but then McCutchen went back to the Pirates.
I collect McCutchen. I've always liked McCutchen as
he's
a player.
He's a fan favorite though. See, guys like Salvi, guys like McCutchen, everybody loves him. Mm-hmm. You never hear anything bad about those guys. They're all smiling at the All-Star games. They're in between the teams in both dugouts, and it's just always a good atmosphere. That's a guy that he's like a Votto, that you can see him doing a round table.
Adrian Beltre, prime example.
Yeah. Yep. Those guys are beloved by not just their own team and their own fans. It's across the whole league. No one has anything bad to say about those guys. So that does go far. I mean, I think he's sitting at what, 300, 299 or 300 home runs?
Kutch?
Did he get to 300?
I don't know if he got to 300.
I thought he was sitting at 299 or something.
He was close. He was close.
I could be wrong, but I thought it was.
McCutchen was one of those players that when he was on Pittsburgh, I always said, oh, God, I wish he was on the Phillies. I wish he was on and then he got to the Phillies. I was like, yeah. I was like so excited.
If Randy Rosarina was consistent, that's who he reminds me of.
Yeah,
Randy Rosarina had his solid years throughout, a 10.
He's over 300.
Oh, he's over 300.
Oh, he did go over 300. Good.
Oh, he went well over 300.
Yeah, maybe it was a year ago. He was at 299, and I think he started the year with 299 and then got to 3.
I mean, this season he knocked in 20 runs.
That's amazing. How old is he now? 37.
37.
He's still got something to give, because I think he started this year with that's right. 20 minus 319. Yeah. He started this year. I go, man, I'd be ashamed if nobody picks him up. And then he ended up going back to Pirates and they got his 300th. Yeah. I mean, look at it. He's a 50 WAR and he's still got some years left. So that's a guy that's definitely a Hall of Very Good right now. He's definitely fringe Hall of Famer. I mean, it's going to take a little bit more, but.
All right. White Sox fans, you're going to hate me for saying this. If Harold Baines can make it in a Hall of Fame, so can Andrew McCutchen.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
If that's the line for making it into the Hall of Fame, then there you go. Or maybe there just wasn't enough players to be, voting or going up against each other on the ballot at the time when Harold Baines got in.
Jim Tomei's another one.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of good players out here.
Definitely.
Yeah, the collectability, though, that's a good point. With the players that we named, I think a lot of people only hear about what people collect because of who we know in our circle or what's on YouTube. I don't think that defines like what the hobby's really like. I don't know the percentage, no matter the topic. I think it's just a very, very small percent of the hobby. Because when you go to these shows and you see these older people, you see these younger people that don't have their phones out, they don't film, they don't create content. That's a huge part of the hobby. And they just go to shows and buy cards and sell cards and collect, and they love it. So we just don't know the raw numbers to that. That's the only elephant in the room, I would say. We just don't know what that looks like. So I think all these guys have collectability outside of being a big name like a Jordan or a Cody Bellinger.
All right, Dom just mentioned something. Do I think he's a Hall of Famer? I said, okay. Well, let's check this out. Give me a second to get my stats right.
He's over 300 home runs and a 49.3 WAR currently.
And
Fuego, can you put those stats back up? Did he have a positive WAR?
Oh no, I'm going to do a comparison.
Who are you comparing them to?
Between the two. All right.
Yeah.
Wow. Harold Baines played to age 42.
Agree, Alan. Right. Yeah. Randy's definitely like that. Yeah. The World Baseball Classic was fun watching Randy.
Oh,
Here we go. I'm gonna steal it. I'm gonna steal it right now.
This Yankees game is getting pretty close here.
Here we go. Yes, he's a Hall of Famer. Now, just remember, he only has Harold Baines has 700 more games. But McCutchen already has him in WAR. Harold Baines has 2,000 more plate appearances. So that's 6 years of plate appearances. He has more hits. He has more home runs. But if McCutchen plays another 6 years, can he hit another 60 some home runs, 70 home runs? Yeah.
Well, I don't even think he needs that. I just think he needs to have about the season he had this year. If he could do that 2 more out of the next 3 years, I think that'll be good for him. Right now, it would be close. Yeah, like you said, he got voted in by the Veterans Committee, which is different. And it's also, man, I don't even know how long he was in the ballot.
I think we can agree that Cutchin will definitely not be a Hall of Famer within the first 5 years of eligibility.
No.
Correct. Yeah, it would definitely.
No, he's not going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he will get there.
He will definitely get there.
He will get there. I mean, we could do an all-day segment on players that should be in the Hall of Fame and players that we think are going to be in the Hall of Fame. You know,
but
that's
there's
for
guys like
time,
Salvi and McCutcheon. Those guys are all so
stream.
close. Yeah, they're very, very close as it sits right now. And I think that's just the point of collectability. Just because we don't see it on YouTube and we don't hear it and we don't talk about it. And, you know, we know Sean collects the Astros. We know I like the Indians. And Fuego collects who he collects. Mike collects who he collects and so forth. We all have our people that we collect. But the hobby is so huge outside of that. You know, I wouldn't go with a showcase of Royals cards and Salvi cards trying to sell them at a show in Cleveland. I would be more centric to the.
You're not going to go out there with a 1-on-1 Salvi.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you may have it in your bag if you know someone walks up and says, "You got any Royals cards?" And they tell you a story how they got transferred 10 years ago from a job, met a girl, and then they're married with kids, and now he's a half Cleveland, half Royals fan. That's your one-off guy. But outside of that, if you go to any other place with all those cards, they still sell. Everybody loves Salvi. And so that's the thing. I think it's really based on, I think all these guys are collectible. Every single one of them that we mentioned. Not so much the guys I picked because they were, tail end of their careers, making league minimum, breakout years. And there's some guys that were younger, but the guys like Reynolds, Alvarez, Reynolds selling his cards in Pittsburgh area, no problem.
It's kind of like what we've all said for so long, we all have our own unique way of collecting, who we collect and why we collect. So we're not there to appease the next person. Yeah.
And I think it's more the popular pick. And the reason this came up, I was texting in Fuego a couple weeks back, where you look at some of these guys that just, you open their cards, you get them out of a pack, and it's like, wow, I got a autograph Mark Vientos. He's only played like 105. I think I use this example. He's played 101 or 102 games. He's already got like 24 or 27 home runs. If that was a full season sample size and there was no Judge, no Ohtani, everyone would be looking at this kid. This would be like the hot rookie out of 24 or 23 Chrome. People would be buying 23 Chrome again and trying to pull all his cards. So there's a lot of guys like that had great years, 20 plus home runs, Ezekiel Tovar, things like that, 100 plus hits. And they get no hobby love, and they're so cheap. You can get their autographs, base autos for $5 to $10.
Yeah,
that to me is awesome. That's when I like to collect. I'll take my shot at stashing a few of those guys. If they ever keep playing the same way, then I don't have to go out and pay $150 for their auto in 5 years.
Okay, so next week we're gonna see about what other topics that we can go ahead and come up with that fall in line with the current playoffs and the collectability, and hopefully we'll make it as fun as we did with this one.
Okay.
So
sounds
Mike,
good.
you got any last words?
Not really. No, I thought this was a really interesting assignment that I had this week. We got together on Tuesday, so it gave us, actually we were supposed to get together on Wednesday, but somehow we got together on Tuesday. It was kind of one of those miscommunication deals. So I was like, all right, I'll send out, when Fuego goes, I'll send out the link. And I got on the link. I said, well, happy Wednesday, everybody. It's only Tuesday. I said, yeah, I know we're supposed to do this on Wednesday, but the earlier the better. That's the way I look at it. It was like Dom saying happy Wednesday every day. But yeah, it gave us a little bit more time to get everything together. And I had a lot of fun with it. I enjoy doing this. I'm glad that we got Arnie on, another voice in here. And maybe we can get another person on, have 4. And share all of our opinions. Somebody in the chat, who does this or doesn't want to do it. I mean, you don't have to show your face. You can be like Arnie. That's fine.
Yeah, if you're willing to jump
know?
on for next episode, feel free to reach out to me.
Yeah,
I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah, the topics are fun. It's I did cheat though. I will say that I did cheat on my test. I
We
failed
expect nothing
miserably.
less of you.
It was a lot of fun though because it made you really think about players then in relation to their cards. Like, man, do I have this guy? Do I collect him? Do I have any of his cards set aside? Maybe I pulled some of his autos and they weren't popular at the time, and I'm like, oh, I do have some of these guys. So I think that ties into the card collecting, and which I like these topics when it.
So are you committing to an appearance next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the assignment, and I think another voice would be good too. I think it'd be fun to have these in-depth topics where we're actually doing a little bit of legwork before the show versus just giving our opinions on some product. Yeah.
Again, if anybody's interested in jumping onto the podcast, feel free to reach out to me, either Discord, email, Messenger Bird, whatever you want. I have no issues bringing you on. But got anything going on upcoming there, Arnie?
No, just the usual Friday show. That's it. I mean, other breaks are going on, but that's.
If you haven't been on Card Deal's live stream, he does a Friday stream every Friday. He's the male diamond princess, but he does his around the diamond. The only thing that we're missing from Arnie is the painted fingernails with the
fingernails.
So
yeah, with the team logo on there.
Yeah, exactly. But other than that, I really have nothing going on. But eventually we'll sit down, we'll collect some thoughts and coming up with a good topic for next week. And yeah, I'm glad everybody was able to show up and enjoy what we got going on. Please hit that like button if you haven't. Subscribe if you're new, and we will catch you all throughout YouTube until next Saturday.